If you're a fix-it guy, how would you fix it? I said, well, we have a saying in the South, you can't fix stupid. So,
Australia has the highest cost of labour in the OECD world.
In public administration and safety, in spite of everything that happens, the public service is still the fifth biggest boom industry in the Australian economy in the last 5 years. Isn't that reassuring?
Few policy objectives are more critical to the country than helping young people secure their first jobs and getting them on the employment ladder for as a foundation for a life of productive employment.
I would sit at this table and I would hear the Teamsters guys say, well, we're not afraid to liquidate. We're not. You know, we're not afraid to walk. We're not afraid to strike. And I would hear the finance guys say, well, we're not afraid for you to do that either, right? After about a month of that, I realized that that was bullshit. They were scared shitless of being the one that got the tail of the donkey pinned on them for causing the collapse and the loss of jobs.
The following aspects of Argentine labour law really stand out. These, to Australians, you'll be amazed by the inflexibility. It is illegal to work more than 55 hours per week. Illegal. Full stop. No exceptions. No overtime payments. Nothing. It is illegal. End of story. Casual employment is illegal. Cannot be done. No possibility.
I called both the Teamsters leadership and I called the lenders and I said, you know, I'm going to call a board meeting and I'm going to shut the company down because it's not tenable anymore, right?
I don't know that you can always tell what's on the end of these changes. I do know this though, you won't stop the change. You will not stop the change. So running around like a chook with your head cut off saying this is terrible, we've got to do something about it, is not going to help. Entrepreneurs like myself will look at it, see it from a different point of view. I don't see the threat, all I see is opportunities.
Take the Bakers Union, for example, 4,500 people. If I had gone to them and said, I need to get rid of 2,000 of your members, almost half, to solve my problem with the business, but I'm not going to touch the pay of the ones who stay, they probably would have said okay. As opposed to saying I need 4,500 people to take an 8% reduction. And you think why? Well, I've heard people say that the reason why is that people who get fired and are gone don't vote for leadership the next time the elections come around.
Jobs are not lost, they simply change.
It's got allowances for cold work, wet work, hot work, team leader, lumping, that's for lifting heavy things apparently, container allowance, and my personal favourite is the bright can stacking allowance.
I end up always having to point out to the company itself and the board and the investors and the lenders that every CBA that I've ever seen has 2 signatures on it. So I don't really have a lot of time for you to sit there and tell me how shitty this deal is, right? You signed it, right? You have a responsibility. Management has a responsibility to, you know, do what's in the best interest, not just to sign stuff and then pass it and move it along and then gripe about it for 3 years.
Well, there seems to be a disconnect between the investigative bodies on the one hand and the prosecutorial bodies on the other. And until there's some coordination, there won't be any real action. So whilst one may assume that bringing the ABCC back would help with law and order, it doesn't, in my view, solve the problem.